Hi guys, Karen Swain here, teacher of deliberate creation. I wanted to chat to you today about what's going on with Doreen Virtue. You know, there's a lot of stuff out there on the internet. A friend of mine said to me the other day, I was on the phone to her, did you hear about Doreen Virtue becoming a born-again Christian and denouncing all her tarot cards? And I said, no, that can't be possible. So I researched it and I had a look at her channel and I had a look at what she had to say. And I can imagine that a lot of people are feeling quite confused at the moment. And I wanted to address this because this is something I feel really passionate about. The New Age community is my community. It's always been my community. It is the New Age community, and this is where we are on our planet. We are in a new age. I have to say that when I go to the Mind, Body, Spirit festivals and I see all the variety of the way people think and what they're presenting to the world in the name of the New Age, it does look like a bit of a circus. But, you know, Earth is a bit of a circus, isn't it? There are so many diverse ways of thinking and being in the world. And the New Age represents that. It has so many ways of being and finding your connection to your God, to your spirituality, to your inner guidance, to your inner self, higher being, higher self, whatever you want to call it, your angels, your galactic guides. There's so many ways. You know, the path to God is a super highway. It's not one path. And the New Age really represents that. That is the New Age. And a lot of people had vilified the New Age for being too crazy, too fluffy, too diverse. But what is this world if it is not the beauty of the diversity? And I listened to what Doreen had to say about finding Jesus. And I get it. You know, I get it. I get that she felt a little vilified by her New Age community when she wanted to talk about Jesus, because they equated Jesus to the fundamentalists of religion, the fundamental born-again Christians that say there is no diversity when it comes to spirituality. There is only one way and one path, and that is believing in Jesus. And believe you me, I have had this conversation with many of my fundamentalist born-again Christian friends. I remember 20-odd years ago having an argument in the kitchen with my girlfriend, one of my best friends who became a born-again Christian. And she told me that everyone that believed in Buddha or Krishna or any path that was not Jesus was going to hell. And I'm like, seriously? You know, there are a lot more Hindus and Buddhists on the planet than there are Christians. They're all going to hell. And she's like, yep, they're going to hell. So fundamental Christianity is really the old age. And the New Age is diversity, acceptance, non-judgment, caring and loving. This is, to me, what the New Age represents. And I don't blame Doreen for finding Jesus through the church, through Christianity. What I find interesting is the way that she's denouncing her past work. She's denouncing some of the tarot cards. I found Doreen's cards 18, 17 years ago when I started exploring energy healing workshops, and somebody bought a pack of her angel cards to our group. And I thought they were really beautiful. They really spoke to me. And you know what I love about Doreen's angel cards is there's just one word on there. Just one word. There's a little book that gives you an explanation, but one word is sometimes all you need to tap into your own guidance. And that's what I loved about the angel cards per se. They've been my favorite pack. Over the years, I've bought different packs for my daughter. And, you know, she loves dolphins and whales. So I bought her the dolphin, the mermaid pack. She loved mermaids. And the fairies. She loved the fairies. I bought her the fairy pack. And, you know, I love the tarot cards. Doreen calls them tarot cards. To me, they've never been tarot cards. They've always been angel cards or fairy cards. The tarot was a part of the old age. The tarot was something different. And then she brought out these cards, and that was like a next step. But always we are evolving as a humanity, as a human race. We're evolving. And I think Doreen's evolving too. But, you know, when you're out there in the public eye as much as she is, when you're as big as Doreen and you've been teaching people one way, and then you evolve as someone and you want to teach another way, how do you do that without denouncing your work? But using cards to tap into your inner guidance is a first step. We all have guidance. All of us have a guardian angel who's speaking to us all the time. All of us have a higher self or an inner being who's speaking to us all the time. All of us have a spiritual team who live in higher dimensions, who have profound, broader perspective, who are speaking to us all of the time. All of us are an extension of the Godhead, the God source. All of us have connection with God. We don't need tarots or runes. We don't even need mediums or healers or Doreen Virtue, intuitive courses. We don't need any of that. We can tap in ourselves. But at the beginning of this journey, it really helps to have all those things as you're figuring all this out, as you're finding your way in this new age of connection, diversity, acceptance. The tarot cards or the angel card decks are a really beautiful way of helping you tap into your own inner guidance. And I remember when I was young using them a lot, and then I stopped using them because I had direct, visceral, clear access to my guides, my God, my Jesus. I had clear access to that voice, and I didn't need the cards anymore. And I didn't need a medium anymore, or a psychic anymore, or a guru or a teacher. I could have my own access. And I think, that's what Doreen was teaching with all her courses. And that's what any guru or teacher should teach you, is to connect to your own guidance, because that's the very best guidance for you. Because it's going to come through somebody else's filter. No matter who you go to, it's going to come through somebody else's filter. And you've always got to feel how it feels to you. It always has to feel right to you, no matter what anyone's saying or a card is saying. It has to hit your truth. Doreen's finding her new truth with her love for Jesus. And as I say, I've been a part of the New Age for as long as I can remember. I didn't have any sort of religious upbringing, none at all. My parents were not interested in religion or spirituality in any way, shape or form. And so I was pretty much an agnostic or an atheist when I was a kid. I looked at the church and it never really made any sense to me. I used to ask my mother a million questions. How can a baby be born in sin and then have to be baptized? That didn't make sense to me. There were so many things in religion that did not make sense to me at all. How can you say that God is an unconditionally loving God and yet he's going to judge you when you die if you go to heaven or hell? Like, that doesn't make sense to me either. So I didn't really look at a lot of religion, but I really wanted to know who I am and why I was here. So I went down another path, and that was a New Age path. And Doreen was a very big part of that with her cards, her card deck. But Jesus started the New Age. He is very prevalent in my life. He's one of my guides. And I think a bit like Doreen, when I first found out that Jesus was one of my main guides, or Christ, or Sananda as I call him, because, Jesus was just one of the personalities that he had while he was here on earth. He's so much more than the personality of Jesus, and Sananda is what I call him. But he's very prevalent in my life, and like Doreen, I felt, talking about Jesus was promoting a fundamental Christianity that New Agers couldn't cope with, or that the New Age couldn't cope with, because there's a them and us. And let me tell you, if you are judging anyone for being wrong, if you're judging or criticizing anyone, you are not a part of the New Age. You are a part of an old age that says, I'm right and you're wrong. The New Age says, we're all in this together. There is only me. Who I look at is me at different levels of development. So if Doreen felt vilified by New Agers talking about Jesus, then she wasn't talking to New Agers. She was talking to people trying to find their way and needing to let go of judgment. You cannot judge another human being negatively and feel connected to your source, or feel connected to love, or feel connected to God, or Jesus, or your guides, or your higher self. Because that part of us, and all of it is a part of us. Jesus is a part of us. God is a part of us. Our guides, our angels, they are all us. That part of us does not judge or vilify or criticize. It only loves and accepts. You know, as I looked at what happened with religion over the years, over the centuries, and how wars have been fought in the name of Jesus and Christianity, and I look at the fundamental Christians that say, if you don't believe in Jesus, you're going to hell and the devil has you and all that stuff. I look at all that, and I, as a younger girl, inside my ego mind, I used to think Jesus would be rolling in his grave if he could see what's happened to his name and how it's been used for hatred and war. And I asked him, how do you feel about the way people have taken your name and killed people over it? And he has always said, I don't judge them, I only love them. No matter how they take me or what they say in my name, love is who I am. Acceptance is who I am. Love is who I am. I really believe that the crucifixion was a demonstration of that non-judgment. How can I show people that judgment doesn't affect you when you're connected to your source, when you know that you are an extension of God, an extension of source energy? How can I show people how powerful that is? Okay, what do people fear the most? They fear being wrong. They fear people vilify them and saying, you are wrong. Who you are and what you believe is wrong. That's a huge fear in many people. It scares people so much that they won't put their face on YouTube. It used to scare me. It used to terrify me to put my face out there on YouTube and say and speak my truth and then have people judge me for it. That was a terrifying thought, right? But let's look at the way he handled it. He said, I'm going to show people how there's nothing to fear. I'm going to create a situation where the powers that be are going to make me wrong. They're going to vilify me. They're going to crucify me. I'm going to let them string me up. They can kill me because I know there's no such thing as death because we're eternal beings. They can do what they like to me and they're still not going to piss me off. That's what he said to me. I'm going to say he's got a great sense of humor. You can judge me, you can make me wrong, you can take me to court and you can crucify me and you still won't piss me off because I know who I am and I know who you are. You know, I love him and he loves me, obviously. And I'm a big part of this new age. He is a galactic being. He is a being that's been cruising many universes. He knows so much more than most humans know. And he knows so much more than the church wants to tell you about him. He's a galactic being that is overseeing our planet, that is a very important part of our planet. And he loves all of us. And he says, don't judge. If you're a Christian, if you're a New Ager, if you're an atheist, if you're a fundamental Muslim, if you're a Hindu, if you're a Buddhist, if you worship Satan or the devil, we're allowed to do all of it while we're playing in this physical dimension, while we're playing here in this playground called Earth. We're allowed to explore all of it because this is a playground that we come to experience. We are source energy having a physical experience and we're allowed to explore all of it. And the way to enjoy it is not to judge our neighbor for how they're experiencing it, because there is masses of diversity here to explore and experience. And if we're judging each other for being a Christian or being a New Ager, or we're compartmentalizing spirituality in any way, shape or form, and we can't get along and love each other for that, imagine what's going to happen when our galactic family shows up and they have completely different beliefs than we do. I don't know, are Palladians Christians or Hindus or Buddhists, are Arcturians, fundamental Christians? They have another set of beliefs completely, albeit they still know that they're an extension of God, source energy. So we need to all get along as humans so we can uplift, expand, and amplify a vibration that will allow humanity to rise, to evolve, to shift into the new age, into another age of human experience. This judgment game, it's had its day. We've been playing with judgment and vilification for too long now. It's finished. It's had its day. And Doreen's just going through a path. That's her path. And I bless her for that. To denounce her work is not something that I would do. I don't think it's something that Jesus would do either. Because again, that's a judgment that's saying that it's wrong. And I don't think that Jesus denounces anyone. He's watching this planet. He's seeing how we all judge each other. And he's not denouncing any of us. So, I was online this morning watching Ellen talk about how it's been 20 years since she came out publicly on television on her sitcom show. And the uproar, the furor that created within the media and within society, and obviously, especially Christians who were judging people for being wrong in their choice and the devil's work if they were to be in a same-sex relationship or to be gay in any way. And it seemed amazing that was so huge 20 years ago. But I think we've come a long way with all that, and we've got further to go. We've got further to go when it comes to judging people for their choices and the way they want to live their life, because we get to explore all of it. We're given this playground to explore, and it's so beautiful to see how Ellen has expanded from going through that terrible time where she was just completely cut off from the work that she loved to do, from being on television. She couldn't get a job. She couldn't do anything for years. And then she came out of that into a new way of being and has spread so much love and hope and joy to the world. She's huge. I think she's even bigger than Oprah now. So, she came through that. And I think we can all come through this too. I think we need to just accept that we all have different choices, but be a part of a new age and not an old age in accepting and loving everyone for who they are and what they choose. That's your choice. I'd love to invite Doreen to speak for herself. So I invite you to come on my show, Accentuate the Positive Media with Karen Swain, and talk to someone who is a lover of the new age. I saw your interview with a beautiful young man who is a Christian. He came out of the new age and into Christianity, and he's very passionate about his beliefs. And I saw your beautiful interview with him. But I feel like it would be great for you to have a conversation with someone who is a lover of the new age and not so much the Christian faith. And I'd love to, expand this conversation so that more people would understand where you're coming from and not feel like they don't want to go down that Christian path. They want to stick to their new age beliefs and feel like you're with them, you're on their side, you're still a part of their lives. So, Doreen, this is a shout out to you. Love to have you on the show. And in the comments below, tell me, for people that are watching that, let me know if you'd like Doreen to come on the show and talk about what she's going through. I think that it's an important part of our community for someone as big as Doreen and who's had so much influence with people to speak about it with someone like me. So that's my invitation. I wish Doreen Virtue much love and health, and I wish her well. And I want you, as someone that's looking for a teacher, to look within. Let the teachers have their own path and look within. Use her cards, don't use her cards. Use her work, don't use her work. It's up to you. But find your own truth and don't judge anyone for theirs. Blessings. If you'd like to know more about what I do, go to karenswain.com and have a look at my website. I have the show, obviously, but I write blogs, I have webinars, we do events, we do all sorts of things. So be a part of my little tribe, or at least come and say hello. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.
Thanks so much for joining us for another enlightened conversation on Accentuate the Positive. If you would like spiritual guidance from my guides, blissful beings, go to karenswain.com for a reading, or to listen to more enlightened thought leaders share their wisdom. Go to the listen page on karenswain.com and choose who you want to listen to. All the podcasts are also available on iTunes. Remember to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, you name it, we're there. Until next time, bye for now.
You feel like that's what you want.